So what we tend to do, you probably potentially watched the show before, we just get you to take us back to sort of how it first started, how you sort of got into lead work.
So my earliest memory of lead was at school in a science lesson, and they're talking about lead, and one of my best friend's dad was a plumber, and they asked if anyone knew what this material was. Up pops my mate, yep, that's lead, my dad uses that as a plumber, and we start talking about it, and I'm instantly like, that's interesting.
Engage with it.
So obviously years go by, I end up moving from Milton Keynes down to Devon, and I'm bouncing around from job to job doing basic sort of in and out rubbish jobs, just temp agencies, stuff like that. And
no real sort of, I want to do this or nothing
at all. I flunked school, retook my GCSEs, passed them. That was the point of moving from Milton Keynes to Devon, to get away from all my scallywagness. And, you know, I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. So I was just trying to make a bit of dollar, you know, getting through life.
Yeah.
And I got a job as an electrician's mate. Randomly, no training, nothing. You are glorified labourer. You know, you run to the van, go to the toolbox, dust that.
Sounds like Casper.
And we were servicing banks, lighting. And there was a bank manager sat there, and he's like, "You've got the right idea, mate." And I said, what do you mean? He said, "Get yourself a trade, buddy. You can fall back on it." And I was like, I haven't got a trade. He goes, I'm being laid off in the next 2 weeks, and to be brutally honest, I'm not sure I'll get this job again. And, you know, if I can get one, it's going to be somewhere up country. You know, I don't know where I'm going to end up. That really stuck with me, like, you know?
Yeah.
So that night I went home, and I'm just cruising for trades. So, you know, I'm like 17 at this point.
So you didn't want to follow what you was doing electrician-wise?
Well, there was no future in it.
Right, okay.
The day I got the job, the geezer said to me, he goes, "This is going to go nowhere. You are just here."
Really sold it to you then.
Yeah. Literally, you are here to move tools around, go to the van and dust lights. You know, we know you're not going to be here forever. It's a very changeable sort of role. Yeah. And, you know, I needed some money. There was a job there. Off I went.
It's a bit honest, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like
I would have fluffed it up a little bit for you.
Yeah, but
you'll go out and you'll get some really nice tools.
You feel like
you'll go in a bar and go, "Ladies, I'm an electrician," and they'll be all over you.
So anyway, off I go looking for jobs, and I see a roofing labourer / trainee job, and I'm like, let's do it. Get the interview signed up, and I go to the interview, and I'm like, where is this place? Like, and I'm in the middle of nowhere, Devon, in the fields, farmer across the road. "Oi, mate, do you know where this roofing place is?" He went, "Yeah, that house there, mate." I was like, I nearly just walked off, like, you know, because, you know, I was like, no. On I went, got my interview, got my job, in I went. I was like most teenagers, I was a bit of a, you know, scally, couldn't be asked, but I wanted the money.
Yeah.
And I went to work for the first day, and we were doing social housing, and I never forget it. And I turned up, I'm like, right, let's do it. And he put me with an ex-Marine who's a few years older than me, like 4 or 5 years older than me. And oh my God, within 3 hours, I was like, I'm done, I'm out. This guy's like, "You ain't gonna last a second."
No.
And that was
just
it.
Hammered you.
If it wasn't for that statement, I would have walked away that day and never done another day's work with roofing.
But because he made that statement to
I was like, right.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Go get that pack of batten, 4.8 metres long, wet, soaking wet, and get it up this scaffold now." And I'm like, "What, up the ladder?" And he's like, "Yeah." So I'm dragging this thing down the road, and he's pissing himself laughing at me. Little 4 foot nothing, like, oh. He's like, "Look, watch." Puts up the thing, gets up the ladder with this 4.8 metre thing, just spins to the side, rotates around the scaffold, and just dunks it down. And I'm like, I'm not sure I could do that.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Right, and on your way down, take this rubble bag down." Down a ladder with a rubble bag weighs more than me. I'm like, and he's pissing himself at me. I'm like, I'm not having this. I'm not having it. I'm going to prove him wrong. And so that was the initial sort of move into roofing, and that's what kept me there. He trained me amongst some other guys, and within sort of a week or two, I noticed a bit of lead work going on. You know, what's that? What are you doing with that? Oh, it's a bit of lead, you know, the lead workers make this up, we drop it in. Huh.
So the roofer guy was dropping the lead work that was pre-made in?
Yeah, so most lead workers would just drop it to the site for the roofer, and he'll drop it in place and then fit the chimney out in, you know, most roofing scenarios. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. A couple of weeks went by, lead worker turns up on site, and he's going to make it on site, give it to us to fit. I'm all over him. I'm like, what's that, mate? What are you doing? You know, and he's welding away, and I am instantly drawn like a moth to a light.
Yeah, because it's that intricate. Excuse me. It's that intricate. There's always, it's like an art form. You've got to mark it up, bend it, cut it.
It is mesmerising.
Yeah.
Wherever you are when you're doing lead work, someone wants to watch. Doesn't matter where you are, if it's the customer, other trades, they want to watch. It doesn't, you know, what's going on there? So I'm like, I want a bit of that, you know. And the geezer come on site like he was royalty. Everyone make way for the lead worker.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, who's that? And he's like, yeah, it's the lead worker. I said, where's he going? He went, oh, he'll be off to the next job now, and he's going to go do a bit of this, bit of that. I said, oh, that's a bit me, that. I like that. So I said, I started looking into, you know, how to do it. And every time something came up on site that was lead orientated in any way, you know, making a soaker, which is basically just a folded piece of lead in half. I'll do that. So I've got my hands on some lead now, and I'm messing around with it, and I'm just playing with it. You know, like what happens if I do this? Does it split? Does it crease? And before you know it, I'm doing quite a bit of the basic lead work.
With no training to it.
Zero training, you know. The kind of lead work I'm doing is kind of just fitting. Yeah. You know, so it's like, is it lead work, isn't it? But I'm doing the lead work that we've got available. I'm not welding anything, nothing like that. It was about that point, I probably 3-4 years into my apprenticeship. I wouldn't really call it apprenticeship. It was time served, should we say? And I'm really interested in lead at this point. I'm like, I really want to get into lead. So I say to my boss, I'm like, look, mate, can we go through a lead welding course? I bought myself a little set of bottles that are this big, and I can't fucking weld. I'm like, mate, it's just like putting a flame on lead. It's melting, it's going black. I'm like, what is going on? I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm trying. And he's like, yeah, we'll put you through a course. And I'm like, okay. Year goes by. This ain't happening, is it? So I basically put myself through the course. It was only a week course. Went into the college. Tutor comes in, he's like, right, mate, here's your bottles, this is how you set them up, this is how you weld lead, off you go. It's like, thanks, right. A whole week, he just left me in that room on my own, welding lead, and just popped his head around the corner every now and again from his classroom that he was teaching. It's all right, mate.
And that was it?
So that was basically...
Was you the only person on that course?
Yeah, nobody else. Like, and this was still part of plumbing at the time. Right. So it was like an offset from the plumbing course.
So they had the lads in doing the plumbing course, and they would have done the lead as well.
Exactly.
Whereas you've just signed up to do that.
Yeah. And
when was
really
it? How long
ago
ago was this?
You couldn't do this. Oh, God. I must have been...
This is where the embarrassment
comes in. It comes to the age.
I don't want to guess when it was.
I must have been about 20, 21, and I'm 44 now, so a good 20 years plus.
Same sort of time as me then.
Yeah, and I've walked away from that college, and I'm like, right, I'm ready. So I'm already pissed off with my boss. I'm like, I'm done. He's mugging me off. He's not paying me enough. He's not appreciating it. I'm putting any roof that comes my way on, and he's paying me trainee wages.
Yeah. At this point, you're a skilled tradesman now.
Yeah. I'm fully fledged roofer. Like I can put any roof on, and I'm doing a good job as well. It's not, and I'm doing it on time, on budget. All right, I am young, but like I'm doing what everyone else is doing. So I go up to him and I'm like, mate, I know I went and got a couple of interviews first, and I lined the job up. This is when I first went self-employed, because it was the only option to join this company was to be self-employed, and we and the missus were a bit like, oh, I don't know, like, let's just do it. And I went to the boss and I went, right, I'm leaving, I'm giving you my notice, a week's notice or something. And he was like, what? You could see his face. He said, why? I was like, look, I've been, asking for a year now about this course. I said, you're not paying me enough. I'm going, this is just a courtesy thing to say, thanks for all your help, and I'm off. Oh, you'll never work in this area again. I was like,
started giving it all that.
I was like, well, I don't have to give you notice. Nah, you just go. I was like, all right, sound. So I go off to the next company, and I am full of beans at this point. I'm like, mustard me.
Yeah.
I walk in the door, and this boss, man, he was a tyrant. But just like the first guy I met that trained me, sorted me out and made me stay in roofing, it's kind of what I needed. I needed bringing down a peg or two. And he was just one of those guys that you met on site back in the day that would throw something at you if you did something wrong. And nothing was good enough. You were never quick enough. Yeah. and it was relentless and it was stressful. But it brought me up to a level that I didn't even know I could be.
Why? Because he was just knocking you.
It was like a sergeant major.
Yeah.
Like,
but that's what they do, isn't it?
Yeah,
they hammer you that
faster, harder. Stop getting it wrong. You know?
Sounds like my missus.
No, just going like that. It sounds like hell.
So yeah, I'm now doing basic lead work. So I'm doing valleys, chimneys, making it all, fitting it all, quirky little
All this
bits.
after just your week's course.
Yeah, because I've got a rough idea what I'm doing before that. And, you know, I've learnt to dress lead badly. Like I could get lead, manipulate round things, but it wasn't great. So I had a rough idea. If I just cut it there and then turn it, I'll just put something in that gap and weld it. You know, that was me.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And chimneys.
Just for anyone that's listening, it's not that fucking simple.
It's definitely not that simple, for sure. Few years with that guy, and I'm like over it. I'm like, okay, I kind of want to do it for myself, but I don't. And I go to the biggest roofing company we've got in Devon at the time, and I'm like, I want to be a subcontractor to you guys. It's all new build work at this point. So I'm dealing with, like, before this, I'm dealing with farmhouses, heritage buildings, churches, but a lot of roofing and a little bit of lead work. So I turn up to this company and they've got hundreds of roofers and like 10 to 20 lead workers. And I walk in, bold as brass, gives the job, mate. Yeah, when can you start? Doubles my wages there and then, all lead work, no roofing. I'm like, all right, sound. And just by chance, the guy that is the contracts manager looking after lead work is one of, in my opinion, the best lead workers I've ever seen. And he takes me under his wing and shows me what lead work really is. You know, it's not just a chimney, it's not just a soaker or a valley. This is what can be done with it. And any questions I've got, he's answering them. He's helping me. You know, a few years with this guy.
He's fully on board with you. He's just
massively. Like, I have to say a big thanks to you out there, Paul, if you ever see this. He was like an idol to me. Like, I couldn't believe what the stuff was coming out of this guy. Like, and he wasn't even on the tools at this point. He was just in the office, but he'd pop to site and say hello. Oh, mate, this is what you do. You say, get over it. Because I couldn't vertical weld. I couldn't do a dormer. Couldn't do a box cut. I couldn't do a flat roof. Couldn't do any of those things. So we go through it, and I get it all down. I get it down to a good, useful level where I can make some money and pretty much do any job. And I'm like, right, I'm really ready to go on my own now. I think I can make some money out of this. So off I go. I start making some calls, and I'm like, before I go, I'd actually like to be qualified. Like, it's a full apprenticeship course to become a lead worker. It has its own course. So back when I did it, it was City and Guilds.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is now. It's probably MVQ or something. So I went in and I did the course, which was supposed to be, I believe, over 4 years. You do your week release, day release type apprenticeship, like all apprenticeships. Because I was at that level where I could do most of it already, I was able to come in and just bash out in a couple of weeks, basically. I just plonk the modules in front of me and I will just work through them as if I'm on price. Let's just get through it.
And could you do the modules on the job and put them towards the college, the course?
No, it was all on site.
Right.
Yeah, it was all on site. At the time, we were at a construction course in East London, so I was travelling, staying away for a week, and then I think I did it in 2-3 weeks, something like that. Which, on my last week, I'd finished 3 days in. He's like, "You've still got to come for the last couple of days," and I just spent the 2 days helping him teach the lads, like, you know, because apart from 2 or 3 things that I got taught on that course, I was already fully operational on them. Yeah, so I found myself at the new build. I've took the course, I've passed it, flying colours, and I'm like, right, I'm ready to go. So I start hitting up other sort of subcontracting options and just putting feelers out. Within a second, I was probably 6 months booked up. And one of the jobs I went on was just a basic chimney fit out type thing, get me some aprons and soakers and bits. And as I turned up onto site, the main man that ran the site, the main contractor, so I was working for the roofing contractor, the main contractor said, "Can you do box cutters?" I said, "Yes, mate, why?" He went, "Can you do these ones?" And it was like, oh, God. It was massive. And like, I was thinking, shit, that's a bit much. Like,
But
I could physically do them, but like I'd only just set a building merchants account up. For God's sake, like I had like $2,000 credit, and I'm like, yeah, I could do it, mate. And he's like, I said, but I don't want to stand on the roofing company's toes. Like, I'm here for them because I was loyal in that sense, you know. And he went, no, they're not doing it. It's another company doing it, but they're playing silly beggars, and we want it done. I was like, yeah, sound. He goes, go home, price it up, bring it back tomorrow. So excited. Got home. I was like, right, that's what I'll do it for. This big contractor, like, I'm like, double it. Let's go pro. Double it. Come in, slide it
go
across
big
the
or go home.
Exactly. So I slide it across the desk. He takes one look at it and he goes, nah, mate, nah. Slides it back to me. I'm like, the whole world just fell out of me. I was like, oh. And he's like, yeah. Opens a drawer, slides me an envelope. He goes, take that home. He goes, beat that by a £5 and come back tomorrow. Right, okay. So I go off and take my little thing, like 4 times the amount I was actually charging, the original company wanted, and I was like, I beat it by a £5. Sent it back to me. He was like, when can you start? I was like, now, right now. I got on the phone to the supplier. I was like, mate, I need credit now. And he's like, how much? Anyway, we go through the credit, we get it. And that was the real kickstart to my business side of things. I'm like 23 years old now. And I'm just running around
You're learning as you go. You're literally just winging it.
Absolutely. And the phone's ringing left, right and centre. And all my boys, I had a couple of boys working for me at this point. They're like, mate, you're like a proper businessman. I'm like, no, right?
The old Motorola, the Nokia's ringing, off the hook. Don't
like,
speak now, speak at weekends and it's free.
And at that point there, I didn't really even see any of this. I was just playing a game.
Yeah.
It's coming in, I'm on it. And we go through, I don't know, 5 years. I land a social contract, social housing. We do some solid work. We're doing re-roofs, we're doing chimneys. It's good bread and butter work. It's lasted me a couple of years. I've got 7 to 10 lads working for me.
Right, so you went quite big then.
Yeah, and so at that point there, I'm like, I am struggling for time. I've heard you boys talk about this on the podcast several times. You know what it's like. It gets crazy. You come off the tools, problems start happening. It was hard.
Foot off the gas sort of thing, innit?
Yeah, so I was at the point where I was making a lot of money and doing quite well for myself, and the jobs were just about staying good. I had full control at that point. And I go off and I'm like, right, I need more. I want more. So I start putting feelers out to companies, and I want to do some heritage work. I want to do the old buildings. I want some meaty lead work, like. So we go off to some stonemasonry companies which are renowned for doing all the church works and stuff like that, and we find ourselves a good contact who's got a lot of work around the industry, and we managed to get in with them, and we start doing some really big lead jobs, like big, like on there for months lead jobs, like really cool work. But at this point, I'm off the tools. I'm in a little shirt and tie, running around my Mitsubishi Warrior, brand spanking new leased Warrior
Living the dream.
In theory. The money's rolling in. Cash flow, not so much. You know what it's like. Cash flow's never in the right place. And I'm just making it up as I go along. I'm like, what do you mean I need that? Oh, okay, I better get that. But I'm doing a good job still. I'm holding it together. And then as we sort of managed to find like a nice plateau where everything was ticking over. At this point, I'm probably 7 to 10 lads in and 7 to 10 subbies coming and going. Like we're doing carpentry, we're doing lime work, we're doing roofing, we're doing lead work, rendering,
so
stone walling.
It a bit then.
Yeah, because it all like
they go hand in hand, don't they?
That's a problem, right? I know someone who'll do that, you know, because you build your contacts up, in they come, bish bash bosh, done. And I managed to build a good little team. They were great. But as I pull back, spend time pricing, invoicing, chasing my tail, mistakes start happening. Lads start taking the piss. And the next thing you know, I've got a big problem. You know, one of the heritage buildings has got a problem. I'm like, I don't know how I got here. Like, I was having so much fun doing a really good job, and now the name's on the line, everything's sort of like... So I end up selling half my business to the stonemasonry guys, buys in, and we go, let's just dedicate ourselves to this and settle down, because it's all too much, like, you know, I'm making
carried away.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's just too much. Let's concentrate on the real bread and butter work that makes the money. And we go for a few years, recession hits, first credit crunch, work dries up, people start paying. I'm looking at him and I'm like, should we shut it? He's like, yeah, I was thinking the same, mate. I was like, let's just shut it. No debt, no problems,
Right.
nothing. So everybody's filtered off. We've dissolved the company, and we're just, do I go back to work on the tools or do I not? So what I end up doing is I'm racing a lot of motocross, I'm doing enduro, stuff like that. Got a little bit of money. I'm like, I'm going to buy and sell a few motocross bikes here and there and pay for my racing at the weekends, practice in the week. So I go off and I do a couple of years racing, full-fledged time. Do really well for myself in racing. But now it's time to pay the bills properly because...
Pot's empty now.
Yeah, as much fun as that was, probably one of the best times of my life out of, 3 occasions like that I've been through. There was no stress. There was no business, no get up when all it was race. The whole family, well... Just like that bank manager told me, I've got a trade and I can fall back on it.
Yeah.
So I'm going back into lead work. So I make a call to an old contact. I'm like, mate, I'm thinking about coming back in the trade. Job's yours, mate, right now. It's like, sound, mate. So I'm back in the new build.
He walks in like that emoji, that meme of Conor McGregor. Fucking walking, guess who's back?
But it don't take much, does it? Like, if you can do a good job and you work hard, you're going to have work for life.
Yeah.
That's it. End of. Yeah. Try and be honest as well. That helps. So I'm like, this is exactly when I start my Instagram. So I go on Instagram and I'm looking at lead workers.
So how long's this?
This
4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I find a guy called Lead Worker Buff. I think his name's Lewis, and his lead work is immaculate. And I'm like, wow, that is amazing. He's got 5,000 followers, man. I'm like, I didn't know you could do that with lead work. So I set a page up just to try and generate some work if I decide to go.
Still going?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I think last time I sort of was in depth with his comments and stuff like that, he was having a bit of time out for lead poisoning, which we'll get into in a minute.
Scrap what we said earlier.
Lead's got a bad rep.
Yeah.
So now he's got lead poisoning.
It's a complicated story, but we'll get into that.
His patina wasn't shiny enough, mate.
That's the problem. When you work with lead, there is no patina yet. But I'm like all in. I'm like, I want a page. So I set a page up. I go off, I do new builds.
Lead is dead. Lead is dead.
I'm just site bashing my way through life for a year or so. I'm having a great time on site again. Fell back in love with it.
Yeah, now you've got the social media presence. Has it then gone right? You sort of upped your game again.
Yeah, that definitely was a catalyst to how well I do the job, because it's so easy to fall into the trap of just doing enough for it to be functional. And as I started, it was just pictures. I was just putting pictures of my work up on Insta, getting loads of love from the roofing and leadwork industry. Oh, mate, that's immaculate. That's lovely. My kids, one Christmas, might have been around COVID, like, you should do a TikTok. Why? I said, I don't do videos.
Kids,
yeah,
sounds
standard.
like me talking to you.
Yeah, standard.
Can't do that.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, do you know what? Why not? So I do a video of a montage video of my work, and it gets like 1,000 views. Like, to me, that's big views. And kids are like, well done, Dad, great. I'm like, I'm feeling all proud of myself.
You're TikToking now,
exactly. And at this point, I'm sort of coming up on 1,000 followers on Insta, and I am over the moon with myself. Like, absolutely, like, yeah. I decided to go get myself a job off the new builds, back onto a bit more of the meaty lead work and the stuff that I really enjoy. But I've always kept my business side as small as possible since getting back on the tools, because I really don't want to get back down the road of business at the moment. I've done it since I was basically 23. I'm just taking a bit of time out, having some fun on social media and doing some lead work. Before I know it, I'm matching my hero on Instagram, follower for follower. I'm 5,000, right? And like,
again, it's that feel-good thing, isn't it?
Could not believe that I would be able to get up to those guys' level. I was just blown away. So grateful to everyone. So I started YouTube. Man, that was a grind.
One thing I want to interject with there is, obviously, you won Roofer of the Year, didn't you?
I did,
in
yes.
2022.
Yes,
so
yeah.
Where are you now with...
Pretty much bang on in this story.
Right.
All right, so I've managed to get myself a call from the legend at On The Tools, John Reese, absolute superstar and my hero. He rings me up and he's like, all right, mate, how you going, pal? And I'm like, all right, what do you want? Like, because I'm getting hounded for stuff all the time. Like, do you want to buy this? Do you want to sell that? Do you want to try this? I'm like, what? And he's like laughing. He goes, have you got 2 minutes? And I went, are you trying to sell me something? He went, no, mate, no, I'm not. And I went, okay, I'm all ears. Right. He goes, I'm John from On The Tools. And he gives me the spiel. And he's like, look, we're looking for content creators on our platform. By this point, I'm getting shared on Lad Bible, things like that, and I'm getting some good traction off some of those companies. And he's like, but the only deal is you've got to be exclusive content creator for us. He goes, that's it. He goes, but we will pay you a proportion of that. He goes, it won't be much, but, it's a little something as a thank you to you guys for doing the creation for us. We'll edit the videos, you just send them in. But he had me right there. I was like, yeah, man, I'm all in. You had
me at high.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, yeah, I'm all in, bruv. I was like, yeah, let's do it. And he was like, all right, sound. Absolutely, probably one of the best decisions I made as a content creator. Not so much from whether it's brought me publicity or things like that, but the amount of advice and sort of mentorship you get from the guys that are On The Tools is phenomenal.
Right.
You have a question, you get an answer, which you don't get off social media, do you? Who are you going to talk to? No one. No one's listening. YouTube, not so much, though. YouTube, pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're cruising. We're putting videos out on The Tools. I'm now TikTok, Instagram, YouTube completely bombing, but we're climbing. And I'm getting a bit of grief off one of the other lead workers calling me the TikTok lead worker and that. And he's big on Facebook. And I'm like, right, mate.
You on what?
Yeah. I was just going to set a Facebook up.
Book face is the older generation. Oh, you're on the book face, are you?
So I set it up. And boom, it just blows up. It like overnight, 100,000. Like we're now like TikTok and Facebook are just going like this. And I'm like, so all I put out is lead work. But what I do that differentiates me from other people is different camera work, different styles of video, like ASMR, like the old tappy tap tap.
Oh, I love the tappy tap tap. I'm all over it.
Interesting camera angles, and I've got quite good at editing the videos so that they're like
sharp.
Yeah, so like I know when something looks boring.
I just love watching it like.
So I just try and keep it like interesting.
Lead work, mate.
Do you know what though?
Get lead poisoning.
Film
it for Facebook.
Yeah.
Hit that nail.
See, I get that a lot in the comments. Like, enjoy your lead poisoning, mate. And I'm like, whoa, hang on a minute.
That's me.
You know what? I get it at the minute. There's a guy on my YouTube. He's just coming at me every time I do a video where I'm soldering up. Obviously, we've got the little reel of the lead solder.
Yeah.
And I've done it from day one. So you're soldering up there. I'll put it in my mouth, hold it in my mouth, pull it, and that's it. Carry on.
Yeah.
This guy's coming at me. You're going to die of lead poisoning. And I went, mate, it's lead-free solder.
Yeah.
Just
get over it, like.
Crack on, mate.
But see, a lot of people will ask me the question in the comments, like, is that dangerous? Is what you're doing dangerous? I really want to know.
You want to go?
It is. It genuinely is a dangerous job. It is lead. At the end of the day, like, so the gases from welding.
Telling me it's safe.
No, it's safe in pipe work.
He's luring you
Once it's fitted.
He's luring you in, and
he's like that. Don't you fucking start.
So yeah, the lead gases are your big problem when welding. That's your biggest threat. And old lead, when you're stripping old lead, can be oxidised on the backside where it's got damp, and then it forms like a white powder that can become airborne, a bit like the old lead paint used to in the old days. But apart from that, as long as you're not licking your fingers after doing lead work and washing your hands plenty, it's pretty safe.
Like a KFC.
Yeah.
What actually happens with lead poisoning?
You die, no.
Yeah, you do eventually. You do eventually.
I'm not going to beat around the bush, pal.
What happens with lead poisoning? It's called poison.
40 episodes. That was it.
And that is why, Nathan, be quiet.
I like the question, Nathan. I like it. So what actually happens is we go for, if you're in the right mind, you go for a test every year to test your blood. So you go to your doctor, you get your blood checked. It's super vital that you do that because you monitor your levels in your blood. Is there a problem? Is it climbing? Why? You address the issue. Yeah. Most of the problems are organ failure. So basically, it will do your brain in. You have dementia and stuff like that. It will just work through you. And if you don't deal with the situation before then things happen. It will just kill you. So when I was careless and reckless, I did nearly, it must have been 7 to 10 years working with lead. I was smoking, like hand to mouth. So, but yeah, doctor was like to me, you got to stop, which was one of the things that prompted me to start the business and bring the lads in more. Basically, long story short is you better look after yourself if you're working with lead. And it's not that it's unsafe, but it's easy to get carried away with the wrong side of doing it and badly.
So, ladies and gents, tradesmen and women, I am trying to help you organise yourself. So we have teamed up with Tradify, which is a software brand that if you are struggling to get organised, to look after your customers and to get everything ready for the jobs that you are going to need, then Tradify is an all-in-one solution. So we've teamed up with those guys. If you click this little link just up here, you get 50% off your first 3-month subscription, and you also can have a 14-day free trial.
Before that, moving on to your side now then, where did you start from? Did you start straight from school?
Kind of. So at school,
I was
yeah. I was trying to think where to start. No, at school I was an absolute twat at school. I didn't listen. Didn't
Everyone's
want to do
like that,
anything.
and then they
And
go
we've
to
got
trades,
your old
don't they?
school friend on the line now, just to confirm.
But yeah, then it come to picking my GCSEs, and I was like, right, what do I do? Design technology. I did that, and then they were like, right, you got to make a project in design technology, and you got to go out and sell it when you.
What was it? The Apprentice.
It was, yeah, pretty much. But I made a little like wooden letter rack.
Yeah.
It was like a flat piece of wood with a little angle, and you stuck your letters in there, and then I put 4 little hooks on. It was like a little key hook thing, and we had to make that in design technology, and then work out all the marketing side of it, and go out and sell it. Right. And I was like, oh, I'm making money here. I like this.
Straight away
I was like making money, and then
did you sell it right? Who bought it?
Yeah, my mum and dad, all of them.
450 sheets. Got them a cropper.
But no, my dad was an electrician as well.
Right.
So working with him as well for the weekends and stuff, and then doing design technology, went straight into. I see now hard my dad worked, and I was like, I don't want to be an electrician. I want an easy life. So
I thought they all finished at 3 on a Friday.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it was just me who was working hard, not anything
That's
else.
why the old man was finishing at 3.
Yeah. So yeah, I went to college. From school straight into carpentry.
It was like, yeah, right, I'm going to go carpentry.
Carpentry, yeah, design technology, carpentry side of it. So went into Warwick College straight away, got in there, and then did carpentry. Got in with a company in Warwick.
Who was that?
I
know you're going to say. But this is shit content. Keep going.
Mark's developed a stammer.
Crosby and Atkins.
No.
No, okay, carry on. Wernill thought it was. Carry on.
So yeah, went straight from
Okay,
college.
yeah.
Got in with the company, Pinner and Sons.
Yes, I know.
Pinner and Sons. Yeah, so spent probably 14 years of my life there.
Right.
But doing everything, we were travelling the country, up and down.
Because they did pubs, didn't they?
Yeah, so pubs, restaurants, police work, Warwickshire Council, like all the school work. And that's where I learnt a lot of my trades as well. So I worked with a bloke called Nick, and he could literally do anything. You give him a house to build, and he'd do all the plumbing, he'd do all the electrics, he'd do all the plastering, he'd do all the lead work, and he could do.
He was one of them guys that could do the lot.
And I spent probably 4 and a half years with him every day of the week, sort of doing bits and pieces. That's why now I know a bit more and do a bit more. So we don't just do carpentry now as well. So yeah, went to college with Gav Tutton. Shout out to Gav Tutton. Take me to the
sticker.
Vin Tutton.
Vin Tutton.
Vin Tutton.
And took me to the pub at dinner time at college as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I did 3 years at college. Got MVQ level 1, 2, and 3 at college, and then from Pinners.
So you did 14 years with Pinners.
Yeah. So then at Pinners, I was doing stupid hours, call outs every weekend as well. So we had to do once weekend.
What's a carpenter's call out? Splinter?
No, it was plumbing. Yeah. No, it's like plumbing as well. So
yeah.
But because we used to do all the pubs and restaurants.
Yeah, I'd done a bit for Pinner back in the day, but yeah.
Because we used to do all the
Putting
pubs
your
and
stuff right,
restaurants.
Dave.
Yeah, probably. Used to get Joe Bloggs go in the pub on a Friday night, pissed up, and kick a door off its hinges. Right. So then we'd have to get called if it was like a fire door or something.
You wouldn't think of that, would you?
No. So yeah, we'd get put on call from Friday night at 5 o'clock.
Probably input the doors.
Fuck you, Gav Tutton and fucking Dave Bishop.
Vin Tutton, have that.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel.
We went to one night in Northampton, about 2 o'clock in the morning, where somebody got in his car, pissed up, and actually put it through the front of the pub. And we had to go down with like acros and props and boards and
just get
to
it
board
safe.
it all up. Yeah, because it left the front of the pub open, sort of thing.
So you was doing them call outs then?
Yeah. So we were doing stupid hours. I was like, because we were doing so many distances, like calls out.
Nationwide,
Yeah. So one day I'd be in Bath.
Was you enjoying it?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good because you'd be driving around most of the
To
day.
its members, he was the 7th emergency service.
Just see you on the side of the road in the rain.
Yeah.
So you had enough of that then?
Yeah, so I was doing foreigners then at the weekend as well, because although I was doing a lot of hours for pinners, I was like single at the time, wasn't with the wife, and I was like, right, I need more money. So I was working every weekend, and I was like, this is driving me mad. This is taking. So I went into pinners and I said, I want an extra 50p an hour, and he was like, no, you're not having it. He said, you got a van, you got a phone. What more do you want? I said,
Can't argue over 50p.
that's all I wanted. I mean, I'm going back 10, 11 years now,
Yeah.
and he was like, you've got a van, you got a phone, what more do you want? I was like, well, 50p.
50p.
And he was like, I can't give it you. I said, all right then, there's your van, there's your phone, I'll see you later. And I walked out.
You walked straight
Literally
out.
that.
I walked out.
That was the
Yeah.
conversation.
That was it. I was like, I've had enough. So I got what seemed like loads of work, because you're doing it every weekend. And I was like, yeah, I've got loads of work. And then you put that into 5 days, and I was like, shit, what am I doing tomorrow?
Yeah.
got nothing now.
Yeah.
So I went out and brought a little Vauxhall combo van. Of
So you went straight from pinners, right, I'm going to set up on my own.
Yes, I looked at a few different jobs, and I was like, oh God, I've seen everybody being self-employed, and I was like, oh, there's some good money to be earned there. I can do that. I can do this. I can do that. So I was like, well, let's try it. I've got nothing to lose. I'd met the missus this time, and she'd got Kylan, who is my stepson. He was 6 months old when I met him. So I was like, right, I'm going self-employed. And she was like, yeah, you can't go self-employed. We need money and all this, the rest of it. And I was like, I've got to try it.
It's a big gamble, isn't it? It
Yeah,
is a big
man.
gamble.
It is.
And I think it was that push that I needed as well to get out being self-employed, because it was like one of the most scariest things I've ever done was to go out self-employed. It's like, how am I going to feed my kid? Like, I've took on.
Yeah.
How am I going to live? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? And I got £800, and I was like, I rang one of my mates up, and I was like, I need a van. I was like, I need a van. He was like, oh, my dad's selling his. It's like a little Vauxhall combo. It's like, let's buy it. 800 quid. So there you go. And I was like, shit, I've got no money to insure it now. How am I going to insure it? So I was like panicking. So obviously I insured it, got loads of, and then started getting a few bits and pieces of work together, and then set up a Facebook page, and then it's just gone from there.
So
and
how
then,
long ago was that then, Dave?
it was 9 years ago. So I brought the Vauxhall, and then I was subbing to builders first, like getting my name around and stuff. And then after a year, I realised I had the Vauxhall combo for about 9 months. And I was like, I can't get everything in here. I can't get a sheet of material.
Can't get my wallet in this anymore.
Yeah, it weren't that good.
All them extra 50p's he's been
Mount up.
So I sold that to some bloke for £800. He brought it off me for £800. So I'd had it for 8 or 9 months, not lost anything. Got a few quid in the pot as well.
Should
now.
have gone into carve.
Yeah. Hold out your hand.
Yeah. And brought Ford Transit for £1,000. And then that lasted me about 3 years. And then the third MOT, it came up, they were like, yeah, we need to take off like the back end, it needs re-welding, it needs this, it needs that. If we kick that, it's going to fall apart. I was like, scrap it. So I got 250 quid scrap for that, and then went and brought the Vauxhall Vivaro that I've got now. I've had that for 6 years now. So
then, are you just on your own at this point?
yes. So when I brought the Vauxhall, I was on my own, and then I was like, right, I started fitting for Wickes kitchens and bathrooms, and they were like, oh, here, have this. And I was doing hundreds of kitchens, and I was like, right, okay. So then I took on somebody else, trained him up for 4 years, and then he's just gone and left me.
Yeah, so you was with he was with you.
Did he
for
want
4
50p?
years.
He didn't even.
Imagine if he did. I want a quid. I know you went for 50 quid.
Inflation, yeah. So
But I know you got him a van. You supplied him a van, didn't you?
yes,
And everything. So was he on the books for you?
it was self-employed,
Right.
so it was
Yeah.
subcontracted
But you
to
just
me.
gave him a van, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
So he's with you for 4 years. Then
Yeah.
how did that end?
So it was with me for 3 years, and then the last bit was where I had the accident and fell down the
Yeah.
customer's stairs.
Yeah.
I didn't fall down the customer's stairs. I slipped on the customer's stairs.
I was waiting for you to say the customer pushed me.
Luckily, the customer was a GP.
Oh, winning.
Yeah.
Did you have to book an appointment?
Wait him a lounge.
3 weeks.
Wait, I'll just put you on hold in the queue.
Sat at the bottom of the stairs. It was a bag of peas on me. You know. But yeah,
What-
so I
What did you end up doing?
I dislocated it and broke it in 3 places. So yeah, all I did was turn around. I just finished doing some fitted wardrobes up in the loft conversion, and I was hoovering the stairs. Took my boots off at the bottom of the stairs, hoovered the stairs, went back up the stairs to grab my toolbox and my plunge saw. And as I turned round on the top step with my toolbox and my plunge saw, I turned round. My right foot slipped off the top of the tread, and my left foot went under me.
So you sat back on it.
Sat back on it. Yeah.
My sister did that.
And the customer, she got 2 daughters.
Was it like David Booster, football player, flopping?
Yeah. So, but yeah, the customer got 2 daughters, and she says, "Oh, I'm just going to get the one daughter." And I said, "Okay, no, I'm going to get my daughters. I'll be back later. Let yourself out." Well, anyway, she went and got the one daughter, and she come back because she'd forgot something. And as she come back through the front
Forgot
door,
to say you that top step's a bit loose.
but luckily, as she come through the front door, I turned around, and that's when I slipped.
Ah.
So
Oh, no
imagine
way.
if you'd have been lying there for a few hours.
Because I couldn't do anything. So she took my toolbox off me, and she went, "What you done? What you done?" I said, I don't know." And as I brought my ankle
Like
from
that,
under me,
flipping it.
yeah,
Oh,
it just went like that. So obviously I ended up in Warwick Hospital,
Yeah.
operation, all the rest of it. So I said I'd got Sam and Nigel,
Yeah.
who works for me now. Nigel is my dad's best mate, and I've known him for years. So I said to Sam, I said, "You can either..."
This is the lad that you got working with.
Yeah, so this is the lad that I taught for 3 years. I said to him, here's the deal. You can either shut my business, because I'm going to be out of work for months. You can either shut my business, or you can step up and be a big girl and go and run it for me, sort of thing. And he was like, "Oh, I'll try and run it." So of course I was like, "Right, let's try it." So I'm sat in my hospital bed, ordering materials and getting him he's doing the job then for me. I then went on holiday, and he texted me on the Monday or something and asked me for his wages on the Monday, and I was like,
While you were on the holiday?
while I'm on holiday, yeah. Texted me on the
Half of
Monday
the
and
course.
said, "Yeah, can I have my wages?" I was like, "You don't get paid until Friday." And he was like, "Oh, right, okay, I'll wait till Friday." So then I said to him, I texted him on the Wednesday, because he was supposed to meet the granite guys to put the taps on the sink. So it was a Belfast, on the worktop, because it was a Belfast sink. And he was like, so I texted him on the Wednesday, I said, "How did you get on with the quartz?" No answer. Texted him on the Thursday, I said, "How did you get on with the quartz?" "I'll put the tap on, but didn't connect it up." I was like, "Well, why didn't you connect it up? There's 2 flexes. Why didn't you connect it up?" "I don't like the way you talk to me." I was like, "What?" And then on the Friday morning, he texted me saying, "I want my wages." I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Because I want my wages." So I ignored it, put it down, went out. I was on holiday, went out for the day, come back that night, and he texted me and he said, "I've had enough. I've taken the sign writing off the van. I've left all your tools on the job in Kenilworth. I'm doing my own thing from Monday." And that was it.
Naughty. I
That was it.
remember when it happened.
Cheers.
But yeah, so I had 3 kitchens booked in for the Monday morning. I had a fit, a rip out, and one that had been ripped out 2 weeks before, been rewired, replastered and everything. The customer wanted to paint it all. So then we had another fit as
I
well.
presume you don't talk to him anymore.
No. I said,
Did you ever find out why that was? Because
Yeah,
sometimes
he's-
stuff's going on in people's
yeah, it was
personal-
going on in the background. He's got a full-time job now with a plumber.
Yeah.
With a
I know who it is. I know that.
He's got a full-time job now with a plumber. And he pays him 50p an hour.
I'm really back
So-
but
Money Mark over at his coach team.
all right, Dave. But yeah, so he's kept your business going,
Yeah.
and then his out is or you don't talk to me, you know, I don't know the way you speak to me.
That
So
was-
like what you say, it's
It's just come out of
planned.
nowhere, basically.
Yeah.
But that's it goes to the whole thing of then he's dropped you in it with these jobs that you've got booked in, knowing well your workforce, and that's why sometimes having them people around you, one of them cogs goes, and it just put all the pressure then onto you, doesn't
That
it?
was it. On the Monday morning, we had 3 kitchens booked in, and I'd split me to do one, Mark and Nigel to rip out another one, and Sam to go and start building the other one, because with the Wickes stuff, it was all flat pack. So you could send Sam to that one, you could send me to that one, you could send Nigel to that one, and then we would all do different parts and build and all the rest of it. Well, that one kitchen that I was supposed to do on the Monday morning, I said to the customer, I said, look, really sorry, I'm going to have to postpone it till the Thursday. And then that meant me working Saturday, Sunday to try and then catch back up, sort of thing. And they were like, oh, don't worry about it, we'll find someone else. So that was it. That lost me that job, which then obviously sometimes will get you bad reputation as well.
That's where
I
it comes
suppose.
down to,
Yeah.
innit? You start,
Yeah.
your name just starts getting dragged through the mud at that point.
Yeah.
But and then at that point you go, oh, I'm sick of this.
Yeah.
Because also with you as well, and it's what I wanted to touch on a little bit, was the vans being done.
Oh, my vans, yeah. So
So that alone, what's gone on with Sam is just a stress of having your own business, isn't it? It's constant with the other lad. But then on the other side of it, it was quite prolific on social media when the last time you had your van done.
oh yeah,
You
it
was literally,
I was done.
I was done. I'm getting out of the game, because what foreshadowed that?
Of how many times I've had my van broken into.
Yeah.
So I've had my van broken into 16 times.
In what? 10 years?
10 years. No, in how long have I been doing it? So probably 18 years.
What goes on in Warwick?
Exactly, mate. You think
Jesus.
it's funny? This is why we have to charge people like you who come over from Solihull and Knoll parking, because we don't know who's coming over.
No,
Yeah, 16 times.
It's not all in. I mean, I've been done where I am now 3 times in the last 4 years. I've only lived there 4 years, and I've been done 3 times.
You
already
know where
there.
he is. I'm obviously not going to say where it is, but you know where it is.
Yeah. But yeah, 4:30 in the afternoon was one time. Where I am now,
You're just peeling doors.
They pulled up in front of me, and I was unloading my tools.
Yeah.
Because I used to empty them into my house every night.
Yeah.
Because I've been done so many times.
Yeah. Standard.
So going back to like the first time, because we used to travel the country, it was in pubs and restaurants, car parks.
Oh, yeah.
So in the daytime, 11 o'clock in the day, I got both my Paslow nail guns nicked out the back of the van. They just drilled the lock.
And Chippy's gear is probably the most expensive.
Yeah, it's all power tools,
You've got to
isn't it?
have all of the stuff.
If it's Festool as well.
Yeah.
It's big dough.
Which it is.
Shout out to Festool.
Festool. One time I went on holiday 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'd emptied what I thought was most of my van. I left like a
Bits
cheap,
and
like
bobs.
a Paslow in there, which was like 7 years old. I was like, that's only 50 quid now, sort of thing. Me radio, I thought that's only 50 quid. Me chop saw, that's only 50 quid. So I left them in there, and it was at the time I had the Ford Transit where they were going around with the skeleton keys and just opening them up.
Yeah.
So I'd taken a lot of my gear out, put it in the house, went on holiday, 4 o'clock in the morning, I went on holiday, and I reckon when I found out, I reckon I passed the guy at the end of the road.
Probably let him out, flashed him.
Probably did. Because what had happened, we were gone on holiday, and then somebody put a post on Facebook who lived just round the corner. He was a plumber.
Yeah.
And he says, oh, my
Always
van's
looking out for you, lads, haven't we?
Yeah, you the one did it.
Sam did.
So yeah, he was. He put a post on Facebook saying my van's just been done. So I rang the sister-in-law and I says, "Oh, can you just go around and check my van?" She phoned me. She was like, "Back doors are open." No. I was like, "Bastard." So yeah, me chop saw,
That's
Paslow.
like you say, that was Ford at the time with them keys. They could open everything.
Yeah, and that's all they've done is they just opened it.
Yeah.
I want to now see if anybody's been done more than you have.
I don't even think that's possible, is it? Like, I never
16.
heard nothing like that.
16 times.
There was a plumber who was on there who was like in semi-tears because he'd been done. How many times had he been done? Which plumber was that now?
I know what you mean.
16 times.
yeah.
Right. Anybody listening or watching, if you've been done more than 16 times,
With proof.
Yeah. But yeah, I've had ladders nicked off the top of the van.
But then, didn't you get, when you was where you are now, didn't you get done? Then you have to obviously replenish your stuff that you've had done.
Yeah.
that's
So
the
they
problem
know
is
it's
if
gonna be
you-
You
full
insured
again.
at this point?
Yeah, I'm fully insured.
Yeah. How long's that taking to get your tools back?
More importantly, how much does your premium go?
Well, luckily it's not too bad. It hasn't gone up too much. But with Festool, you get the anti-theft. So then
What do you get with them?
So when you buy a tool through Festool, you get 3 years warranty, anti-theft and servicing. So if anything gets stolen within them first 3 years, you only pay £100 and you get that tool back. So with Festool, let's say the Festool, let's say a chop saw gets nicked.
That's why they're so expensive.
Yeah.
So, well, look at the Festool Capex 120. It's £1,200 saw. But if that gets stolen, you only pay £100, you get it back. Right. But you can only do that once in 3. You can only do it once on the tools. Yeah. So 4:30 in the afternoon, I've pulled up at home, I'm unloading my van, I've gone into the garden, come back out, and there's 2 lads inside of my van. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And he was like, oh, you call the police, I'm going to come back and slit your throat.
Yeah, man, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, what'd you do? What'd you do?
So, but I got the registration of the car, rang the police. Obviously, you need a crime number for your insurance.
Yeah. So what did you do with that? He said that to you. You just stood there then?
I just stood there.
Thinking through?
Yeah.
I took...
Do I challenge this?
Yeah. But then when they see me coming out, they got the stuff out the side door of the van, which was I think what they've done is they've watched me walk away. And as I've walked away with my stuff and locked it, I think they've got out the car and pulled the handle to try and because there was no sign of it there. Yeah. There was nothing. I know I locked it because I'm so cautious. We've been done so many times. Yeah. Just so cautious.
You're on the ball with it.
Yeah. So I think what they've done is they've watched me walk away, and as I've locked it, they've pulled the handle and it's just left it unlocked. So I've gone in the garden, come back out, and I've shouted at them, and they're like, "Oh, you call the police and all the rest of it."
So you're literally stood.
Watching them rob you.
From like here to there.
That's disgusting, isn't it? Right?
Yeah. So obviously I've got the number plate off the back of the car. It was a Ford Focus ST. Yeah. I've got the number plate. Rang the police. It was a black car. So I've rang the police with the registration and
could it have been blue?
Yeah. And they were like,
"It's white."
It's white. Yeah. And they were like, "Oh, that's a Volkswagen Beetle." I was like,
"No, it's
not."
Of course it is.
So So anyway, that was that. I replaced the tool. They took my dust extractor and my SDS because my SDS was attached to because all the Festool stuff clipped together. So then 2 or 3 months later, I used to still take the stuff out the back of the van, put it into my kitchen. 2 or 3 months later, they've come back again 2:30 in the morning and literally just looked like they got a pair of grips on the back door and just twisted the handle, just snapped the barrel lock, and they've just snapped
Is this on the Vivara?
No, this is in my house.
Oh, right.
This is in my house now.
No way.
So yeah, 2:30 in the morning, they've come down between our houses, climbed over the 6-foot gate, turned the light on the security, the PIR sensor, and then obviously twisted the back door lock, snapped it, and broke in, and all my Festool was in there, and they took the whole lot. Didn't even hear it.
So they went into the house?
Yeah, into my house. Yeah. So they've gone into my back door, and
Where
it was just
you two live? Sounds like Toxteth or something.
He lives closer to you than what he lives to me.
Yeah. So it's so they've gone in my house and they've took the whole lot. I mean, I've got Festool and it's piled high, 4 piles, and they've been going in and out my house while I've been asleep.
Stuck
so
in it.
Just because it's by
like
the back
it's a
door.
shop.
So
literally, like it's a shop.
So yeah, the wife woke up eventually and said, "Oh, there's someone by your van. They're carrying Festool boxes." And I was like, "Oh, they're in the van. Let them in the van."
Yeah, what am I doing now?
Yeah.
I've been through this enough to know the score.
Yeah. I've got little boxes in the van with Festool stuff in, like little Festool boxes with little like raw plugs and hole saws. And I said, "No, let them take them." She's like, "No, they're big boxes." And I was like, "What?" And so anyway, I was like, got up, opened the bedroom window, and he's just shone a torch up at me. He's gone, "Cheers for the tools, you prick."
Whoa!
No.
Yeah. What the? Straight up. Cheers for the tools, you prick. And drove off. Got in the car. So yeah, I come downstairs and the back door's just swinging in the wind. I was like, then the wife walked in the garden, screamed through it. This is 2:30 in the morning. So yeah, that was that time. And then
don't marry a trader. That's all I'm going to say to you.
Yeah. So,
but like you just said, that was that time.
Yeah.
This so then one.
So that's So first time was 2:30.
Then the missus is going to be losing the shit because someone's been in your house, haven't they?
Yeah. So then she. Obviously, so then it was like, right, tools are out of the house, get them in the van. So then it was like, right, extra alarm on the van. I didn't have the deadlock. I think if you put deadlocks on the van,
it's you're asking for it.
Yeah, it's like you've got something in there to hide. So tool insurance went max like 20 grand tool insurance, extra alarm on the van, ring doorbell, CCTV, gravel driveway this time as well. So I was like, right, because we did the driveways with next door by this time as well. And I said to the wife, we'll have tarmac. No, I don't want tarmac. Right, we'll have gravel then, because
noise,
it's a noise.
Yeah.
But what they've done this time then, again, 2:30 in the morning, is they've come down between next door's car, and he's got a T5 transporter. They've come down there, crossed the flower bed between the houses, climbed up on top of me shed, I got a little brick coal shed. They've climbed up on top of there, walked across the top of my fence, across the top of the gate, moved the security camera on the side of the house, turned the light again, opened the door where the little coal bunker, like coal shed is, gone in there. There's nothing in there. Gone down my garden, gone in a little shed where I keep like kids' bikes and bouncy castles and stuff in there. Nothing in there. Gone behind that and broke the padlock on there where I keep the garden stuff. So like the lawnmower. I had a brand new still battery blower and strimmer. They took the blower but left the strimmer. And then they went down to my shed. I just built a man cave at the bottom of my garden, and they broke the lock on the patio. I got a set of patio doors. They broke the lock. And I think it's exactly the same people, because it was the way it was done.
Makes sense.
Unless it's that's how they do it. But same.
But to go to like, it's meticulously planned, isn't it? So
They brought a Milwaukee. I got like you open a Howden's account, you get a free Milwaukee thing. So my grandma got an account at Howden's, and I got a free Milwaukee radio. But I only knew they'd been down my shed because then on the way out, because there was nothing in the sheds, on the way out they did my van, and they've put like a little screwdriver. What they've done is they've come out in between the houses and then just reached around and put the hand straight over the ring doorbell. So then that blocks the ring doorbell.
So you haven't seen them.
So then I haven't seen them, and then all of a sudden I've heard the van alarm going off because it's like quite loud. It changes tones as well as it does. So of course the wife's looked at the ring doorbell and she's like, "There's 2 lads in the back of your van. There's 2 lads in the back of the van."
You're like,
yeah. So then when I've gone down, opened the front door, because we locked the front door, locked the back door, and put the keys in the middle of the house, sort of thing. By the time I've realised what's going on, got down, they've gone. So yeah.
Have you ever thought about moving?
Yeah, several times. Yeah.
So was that the last time?
So that was the last time.
So you went on social media that the following day. I remember it, and you was like, "I'm done.
I'm literally
getting out
done.
of carpentry now."
Yeah,
man. Right.
So because they took, luckily,
it just batters you, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's disgusting though, right? Because it's not. That's taking food out of your kid's mouth.
Yeah.
Literally, like it's not just a set of tools in a van. Like you are taking away the ability to earn money.
Yeah.
Well, the last time when they came into my house, the time before that one, they took everything.
Yeah.
So I had to go into Screwfix and spend 50 quid just on a drill because then you have to claim through the insurance.
Yeah,
So how long does that turnaround take? So like when you've got your claim on the go, you've proven everything you want. Like so, you've got no tools here. How long to the point you can trade again with tools?
So Festool were absolutely fantastic. I phoned Festool the next day, give them the crime reference number, and within 7 days I had 10 tools replaced.
Really?
Which was really good. Fantastic. Dust extractors and all the rest. I had 10 tools turn up.
And that goes, like you said, that's why they're that expensive.
Yeah.
Because of that backup.
Yeah.
You would, going to get new stuff again, you would now buy Festool.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know they did that, to be honest.
And then my tool insurance is with Aviva.
Right.
And that was a bit more tricky because then what you have to do is a spreadsheet and you have to try and remember every tool that you got, and you have to work it all out. And then
that's where somebody like Armed comes in when you
Yes. I was in talks with Armed last year, actually. Was it last year or earlier this year? My insurance runs out in September. So I was in talks with them because they've just done that new tracker as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
The thing. So I was in talks with them about doing their insurance and stuff. I still haven't replaced today tools that got stolen. So when it got done the last time, it was 7,000. If I was to buy them all new again, it was £7,048, I think it was, or something stupid like that, for everything that got stolen. Luckily, I was on a kitchen. So when I do a kitchen, I tend to leave a lot of my tools there. Right. So if my van was full, they'd have had a lot more. But yeah, £7,050. Let's say £7,050 was what it was valued at to go and buy it again, and the insurance paid out £3,000. Yeah. So I was already £4,000 out of pocket. So I went to Screwfix and brought some cheap Boa tools. Although I absolutely love Festool, a lot of my tools are still Festool. I was like, I can't justify spending that kind of money again.
Makes perfect sense.
To get
how
done
many
again.
times have you been hit where you are?
3 times.
Right.
So 3 times where I am. I've only been there 4 years.
Yeah.
So 4 years was April, and I've been done 3 times there. In the old house where I used to live, it was like a cul-de-sac. I got done twice there. But you got your name all plastered over your van because you don't want to be a white van man.
Yeah.
And it's advertising as well, isn't it?
There's pros and cons. I've had this conversation with.
He's Captain Brand over here.
I
You're the
love
white,
Brandon.
the white man, you sandwiched in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very much for putting your branding out. Yeah, letting people know what it is. I think if a guy's going to break into your van, it doesn't matter whether it's branded or not. They're coming in it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's a whole new story.
Yeah. But you just don't challenge them either, though, because you don't know. Everybody says to me,
Especially
"Oh,
now.
do you
It's not worth
challenge
it.
them?"
It's not worth it, is it?
Well,
The
they know
risk.
where I live. They know who I am
Exactly.
because of what I do.
Yeah.
I don't know who they are. I mean, I've got CCTV footage of the 3 of them from the last time coming into my garden. They're all balaclavaed up.
Yeah,
they're all
exactly.
they're all tooled
Cameras
up.
count.
Sometimes the camera is worse because you're seeing them taking your stuff.
Yeah.
And they're balaclava. You ain't going to get nothing from it.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
One of
Fake
them walks
plates.
in and actually waves at the camera. The next one comes in and sort of dances around. But you can
The next
see.
one called you a prick.
Yeah, literally as he walks off
Yeah.
for your tools.
So, as you know, myself and Pete, we always want to try and give back to the people that watch and listen to the show. So we've done you an absolute solid. We've got loads of discounts from top name brands all across the internet. So if you want to save some money on tools, software, tool bags, accessories, then go and check out our discount page, which is just located here. Hopefully there's a saving on there for you, and that's a little bit of a thank you from myself and Pete for supporting the channel. On that note, do you
On
want to
that
go
somber
to?
note.
I know, yeah. Do you want to go to final thought?
Final
apart
thoughts.
from don't keep your tools in your van.
Don't eat lead.
Yeah, and don't stick your fingers after lead work.
So Chris has said lead's not bad for you, then it was bad for you, then it wasn't, then it was.
I think that's about summed it up.
It's about where it is.
So we normally get you to dispense a bit of knowledge, drop some knowledge or some wisdom, or plug yourself shamelessly, or champion the cause for lead. Whatever you want to.
Well,
Bit of
all I
advice.
really want to do is just say a massive thank you to everyone out there who has followed me across all the platforms. And that is about it. Like where I want to be in a few years is just keep doing what I'm doing, plugging away, and see if we can build it any further. But that's it. Yeah, massive thanks.
Do you want to
everyone.
grow them channels more then, do
It'd be
you?
lovely. It'd be lovely. I'm just going to keep putting videos out there and see what happens.
What about you, Dave?
Just carry on doing what I'm doing. I'm going to have to replace Nigel soon because he's now 60.
Is he?
So-
Not
Is he-
50p.
Yeah.
60, no knees.
Yeah.
Is he consciously then going? Is he saying, "Look, I've got a couple of years, Dave"? Or what?
Yeah, he's only got a couple of years. So I'm gonna
Not to live.
Not to live. No,
Just in the
just,
game.
just to work. But no, yeah. I mean, Nigel has absolutely been a godsend
Yeah,
this
he's a
last
good
year.
guy,
He's
isn't he?
fantastic. He turns up. You tell him to be there at 8:00. He's there at 7:45.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, I've just been on holiday. I went away to the Lake District in the caravan.
Just
And
been on holiday. Where are you going tomorrow?
On holiday. Yeah, and I said to the plasterer, I said, "Can you come and do this job?" And he was like, "Oh, I can only come on Saturday." I said, "Oh, I can't come on Saturday. I'm on holiday." Nigel was like, "I'll be there."
Yeah,
I was like,
he's good as gold,
"What?
isn't
No,
he?
no."
You'll miss him.
Yeah, I
You'll
will.
miss him when he's.
Um,
You'll miss him when he's gone.
They're like
Yeah.
gold dust people like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
proper grafter, really nice guy.
Yeah, knows his
Do
stuff
anything
as well.
for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
So, but so in, like you say, 5 years time, it's what do I take on an apprentice? Or
you've been
don't
bitten.
even get
yeah.
me
Oh yeah, I've had an
started on
apprentice.
the subject.
I've had one before. So I had him with 6 weeks, and he couldn't even work out the tools.
Honestly.
Yeah.
That was you when you
I
started
really
out.
I genuinely would love to take on an apprentice or labourer or both. But my God,
Yeah.
like 24 years of sort of working with people on and off. Like I don't know.
I think the older you get as a guy, the more like he's
Stuck in your ways. isn't he?
I hate people. You turn into a grumpy old man.
Let's just knit to the van for me.
Yeah. Or they want to be doing that.
Yeah,
That's
all
the
the
big
time.
one.
Social.
Yeah.
They want to be on the phones. Us lot are putting the content out. So I suppose you want to grow your channels as well, don't you? Your Instagram.
Oh, massive! Yeah. My Instagram's, like you
Going
say,
well.
it's gone very well the last 6 months. I did one reel, that that you do.
That's what you were saying now.
So
It
it's
was
about-
real,
it just
blow you
goes.
up.
Right now,
I was texting you, weren't I? Going,
Yeah.
what
What's
have I
going
done
on?
here? Have I done something wrong? Have I glitched it? Or I'm going to delete it in a minute because I went from like 800 followers to like 5,000 in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, and
didn't
you was
I?
like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I was waking up to like 500 new followers a morning. I was like, oh, what have I done? I've had so much bad luck over the last few years, like you say, with tool theft, and then
Legs.
my ankle. Well, let's go back to the start. I lost my granddad in the March. I lost my dad in the November.
Oh, no way, man.
Me and the wife lost a baby in the February. Then I fell down the stairs. Then I've had my van broken into. So it's like,
how many mirrors did you break? Jesus. How many mirrors, man?
So it's, you just look at it and you think, just live every day now as it comes. Enjoy it. And that's what I'm doing now. That's what I'm doing. It's live every day as it comes. Enjoy your holidays.
Right?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, massive.
So,
At the end of the day, none of that would have happened, Dave, if Mark Pinner would give you that 50p an hour more.
I'd have probably still been there.
Yeah.
I'd have still been on £1 an hour now.
75p. Come on.
Inflation and all
But
that.
no, that's fine, mate. Good advice.
Yeah. So just live every day as it comes.
Yeah.
Because, like you say, with my dad and my granddad, you just don't know what's around the corner.
Exactly.
So
live each day.
yeah.
No, enjoyed that, boys. Been really good.
Yes.
Very good.
If you like listening to Al talk over all the guests, if you've enjoyed this episode of Trade Legends, listening to Al talk over everybody else and people banging on the desk, if you've enjoyed listening to and watching today, you fucking gonna just stay still, one space just for a minute.
If you've enjoyed watching this, blah, 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 blah.
So
Right, 3, 2, 1, go.
So I'll just not do it.
Go.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna shut up for just like a minute. If you've enjoyed listening and watching today's Trade Legends podcast, please subscribe to our channel. It will really help us out. We're a new podcast. We want to do big things, and you subscribing, hitting the little bell so you get notifications would be just great. Thank you.
Hitting the little bell. I was like, yeah, ding, 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 ding.
There is a little bell in there.